Hi, welcome to the Padang. This is where we are holding this year's National Day Parade. I am Roger, the camera director for NDP, and let me take you behind the scenes of what it takes to run a multi-camera production for NDP 2024. Brief introduction, I'm the camera director for NDP 2024 this year, but I have done NDP in many shapes and forms, in roles, in the many years before. So I was originally an NSF editor in 2010. That was my first year doing NDP. Then I ORD, right? I came out, I was a freelance cameraman for the multicam production as well, from 11, 12, couple of years. Then I took on the camera director role for SEA Games 2015, the opening and closing ceremonies. Then from there, also the camera director for NDP 2016. Then I took a break. We came back in 2019 and we were the aerial drone sponsors for 2019 to 2022. So the bunch of drone shots that you saw during that time were all taken by us. Took a break in 2023 and now I'm back for 2024. What is a multi-cam production? Let me explain. The productions that you probably know, which let me just take this video. It looks something like this, right? So you got a couple of lights, you got me talking to the camera there, and then I have a mic on me as well. And this is what my team has set up as a production set, right? You have this, and then it goes to edit, and then it comes out as a video. This whole video is shot, edited, and then it will be uploaded to an online platform where you're watching this right now. A multi-cam production in itself is somewhat the same but with different technical elements. So as the name suggests, multi-cam production, you're taking multiple cameras. It can be anywhere from like 3 to up to maybe 20, 30 cameras. All of it has a camera operator. They're all shooting things at the same time. A director chooses the shot and it goes to either TV or LED screens or the projector screens that you see in concerts and stuff like that. You have operators running those cameras, and a director with the assistant director will choose the shots based on what the project is about. Choose it. Once you press a button, the camera feed actually goes live. All this happens instantaneously, which also kind of means that if I make a mistake and I press the wrong button, the wrong feed goes to the LED screens so that everybody see the mistake together in a very awkward way. Yeah. As much as the whole show is actually live, there is a lot of pre-production work that goes on behind the scenes. The planning of every shot, we kind of know where everything is supposed to be, when the pyro goes off, when the fireworks is going to go off, when this dancer is going to be, where this person is going to sing. All those are pre-planned before, and we will cater the correct camera shots such that we will hit that mark. When the person starts singing, bang, and we have the person right on time to your LED screen. So that is in essence what a live multicam production is. Now the question you'll be having in your head is, are the shots I'm directing the ones that you see on TV? There are two multicam productions going on at Padang at the same time. In NDP, I work for the multimedia committee. The shots that I'm doing are the ones that gets fed out to the LED screens. MediaCorp, our national broadcaster, has another production team on site that crafts the shots that you see on TV. The shots that I do on the LED screens are meant for image magnification. For image magnification, you start to see a lot more close-ups. You see a lot more individual performers on the screens because as a Padang audience, you're already there. Fun fact, as a camera director in the creative team, we actually start work planning on NDP about a whole year before NDP starts. About a year before NDP, that is when the creative conceptualization actually starts. So you have the show component, how the show is going to look, what we envision for the show is going to look. On my part, I come in to help to realize the vision of the creative director. My roles and responsibility in itself is to craft out the technical specifications for how many cameras that I want, what type of cameras that I want, what type of lenses goes onto those cameras, and all this has to be in line with how we want to capture the story, which is NDP, of the creative director. Usually from about March to May, that is when a lot of the performers start to have their rehearsals. So we use those rehearsals to actually plan out the camera shots that may happen. The choreography team will be busy trying to put everything together. That is when we can plan out what the camera shots can be before we actually shift into Padang. About May or June, the whole work actually starts. The shift into Padang happens, all the equipment comes in, we set everything up. I am, however, not a one-man production. I do have a team that helps me out with this. I'm the camera director. My job is to look at all the camera cues and call the right shot at the right time, press the correct button before it hits the LED screen. I have an assistant camera director as well, and her job is to compile the camera cues for every point in the show, all the way from pre-parade to the chapter 6 and finale sing-along. That bit of information is important so that the camera crew knows what to shoot and where they should be at every point during the show. In our multi-cam control room itself, there is an engineering team that makes sure the entire system actually runs. You have the system engineers, you have a couple of CCU operators. CCU operators are the people that ensure the colors on screen look the way that they are supposed to. Then we also have a bunch of recording decks where a couple of people are in charge of to record the entire show so that they are being distributed to the individual committees for their own review week to week. I do also have a team of camera crew that complements the camera positions around Padang. Now this is the interesting part. The audiences are actually all around Padang and the stage is right smack in the middle. It's slightly different from other regular shows or even NDP at Floating Platform, for example. Because at Floating Platform, you have a stage and then you have a seating gallery. That pretty much mimics how a theatre actually is, because the audiences all face one way and the stage faces the audience. In Padang, we have to insert additional cameras all around Padang itself for that immersive experience. So for that reason, we have cameras at every single sector of Padang. The red sector, yellow, green and blue sector to cover every single angle that the performers will probably face. Those camera positions are using high-powered box lenses. Those can zoom in more than 100 times into the field or into the audience stands so that we can get the shots that we want. We have other camera types as well. We have Steadicams and a few cameras on the ground that are handheld, that are operating wirelessly, so they can go inside the performer field of play to get the shots that are closer to the ground. There are many other teams that make NDP happen. Even within the multimedia committee itself, there is a content team that actually creates and generates all these edited films. There is also a team that manages the LED screens on the ground to make sure that the programming of all these videos gets fired at the correct time every time during the show. Outside of multimedia, there are a lot of stakeholders that actually make things happen. The show management team that actually make sure the performers are at the right spot on time. We also coordinate with the lighting team to ensure that it looks good both for on-site audiences as well as for cameras. There are also other committees that we integrate with, like communications, branding and publicity, as well as airpart. Airpart, for example, is important information so that we catch the bombers and the airplanes that are coming in right on time. The weekly work schedule for the creative team looks something like this. On Saturday, after the show ends at 8:30, we actually go straight into meetings. This is what we call a hot wash, where all the problems and probable improvements are quickly dished out during that day. No problem solving during that time. Because if you spot a problem during a 3-hour show and then you go to sleep and you wake up, you may have forgotten about that point. So that meeting on Saturday night itself is pretty important. Sunday is supposed to be a rest day, but for most of us, we take the time to go through the review recordings of Saturday to prepare for the Monday meetings. We gather back on Monday. This is where we have meetings to problem solve, as well as to find improvements for the show itself. Tuesday and Wednesday is where we adjust our camera cues to effect those changes. For example, if lighting has a certain change, or if choreography has a certain change, or even fireworks has a certain change, that has an impact on cameras for safety reasons or for choreography reasons. Tuesday and Wednesdays is where we effect those in. Then we move into Thursday. Thursday is when we have a technical run to ensure that every single technical component is firing as it should after those changes are made. On Friday, we have a system run. This is where we have the camera crew come in for a camera briefing. As director with my assistant director, we update them about the changes that happen throughout the week so that we can have a quick run on Friday, and then we'll have a show on Saturday with all the performers with all those updated changes. I call it a show because every Saturday there are live audiences at Padang to see the NDP show, which is why we don't treat it as 8 rehearsals and 1 show, we treat it as 1 rehearsal and 8 shows. And then the cycle repeats itself. Yeah, I hope this was an interesting insight behind the scenes of NDP, in this case the multi-camera productions. If you like this video, please share. If you want to find out more or you have burning questions, please type it down in the comments below. Thanks for watching. I need to go behind the camera again. Bye bye.